Hey beauties, welcome back for another episode of Kim Cooks Live, where I teach you how to make really healthy, easy, and beautifying meals and snacks that you can enjoy yourself or share with your friends or the whole family. So the whole point of making this a lifestyle is that the recipes are very doable, very easy, and I just want to give you guys ideas for how you can bring these foods and these meals into your life, and of course you can make modifications. So today we're going to be making curry cauliflower steaks, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show you the finished product. This is something I made for dinner a couple nights ago, but I'm going to take you through the whole process, and it's super easy. And I just want to this light's super bright. Very weird lighting here in my kitchen. You'll be able to see what it looks like. I'll show you how I'm going to plate it and prep it, but it takes about 25 minutes. So maybe later I'll add a screenshot of what it looks like. I had some leftovers and then I threw them out. That's where I had the idea. I should have saved them. But anyway, this is a really great meal idea. Cauliflower is a really hot vegetable right now. You guys may have noticed it's on the recipe all over the place. It's hearty. It just feels like nice and meaty, if you will, even though, of course, it's just a wonderful plant food. Cauliflower has a lot of great benefits, lots of minerals, different antioxidants. It's high in fiber. It's a great anti-inflammatory food, a great anti-cancer food. It's got lots of vitamin K. So it's just a great vegetable to work in. And this is a really easy entree that you can make for yourself or loved ones, again, when you're in a bind and you don't want to make something that requires a lot of prep work. That's what I love about one-pot cooking or meals where you just bake it and go do other things and come back later. It's just so easy and doable. Hi, Juan. How are you? Yay. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, everybody. It's so excited to be with you guys today. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Getting excited for the weekend. Maybe this is something you could think about making over the weekend. You just need a couple things. Of course, the cauliflower. So this is like a very small organic cauliflower that I cut in half. If you have a larger cauliflower, what you want to do is cut it into quarters. So a large cauliflower can make 4 steaks and a small one makes 2. And you want to cut it right through the stem like this. This is going to make it nice to serve, nice to plate. It's going to add some hardiness. It's up to you whether or not you want to eat the stalk. I actually do eat the stalk because I like to eat the whole vegetable a lot of the time, but if you don't want to eat it, you could just eat the outer florets. So the first thing we're going to do while we're starting to prepare this right away is we're going to turn our oven all the way up to 425. So we need to really crank the temperature up to roast this cauliflower steak. It sounds funny to even say steak. I haven't had a real meat steak in probably, 15 years. So when I say that word, sometimes it sounds funny, but of course we're just talking about it in the sense of it's going to be a nice hearty entree for your dinner. So I've got a little baking pan here. Oh shoot, I forgot to put out the coconut oil. I thought I put it out. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. For this, we're going to use coconut oil. This is the oil that I like to bake with. This is what I use in my gluten-free baking. This is the oil I like to use when I'm roasting vegetables. I don't use olive oil. For higher temperatures, coconut oil isn't going to get rancid. It's very heat resistant. It also is fantastic for your metabolism. It goes to your liver. It's burned off as energy. It gives you long sustaining energy. It tends not to be stored as fat. It's just a great beauty fat all around. It's great for your skin. It actually has anti-candida properties. It's antimicrobial, antiviral. So it's just a great beauty fat to incorporate. I'm just going to grab a little spoon. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a decent amount of coconut oil. I'm just going to spoon it right out. For this recipe, it's so easy, I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to put some down on the pan like this, and then I'm going to put my cauliflower steak, and I'm going to dribble more on top. So coconut oil gets hardened. If you guys are in a cold place right now, as I know a lot of you guys are, what you can take is you can just get a bowl with hot water and put your coconut oil inside it. For this recipe and most recipes, it's much easier to work with the coconut oil once it's liquefied. So all in total, I would say for this one steak, now imagine if you guys are doing 4, you would just line them up on the tray. I would probably use let's say 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of coconut oil per steak. So I'm just dousing it in some coconut oil. That's gonna add some nice richness, and when it bakes, it's gonna make the coconut oil, make the cauliflower steak just really nice and yummy. Now I'm gonna season it with some pink Himalayan sea salt. This is my favorite salt to use. It's got lots of trace minerals. It looks really pretty because it's pink. It just pops. The flavor really pops. I'm gonna add some fresh cracked black pepper. Ayurveda will say never use pre-ground pepper because the oil can also get rancid. There's a lot of benefits to black pepper. It's a primary spice used in Ayurveda, so it's a really great spice to use, but you wanna make sure that it's cracked fresh so the oil isn't sitting around, which can become rancid again. So you can get a pepper grinder online for probably like $10 if you don't have one. I really recommend it. The next thing we're using is a curry powder. I'm smiling because my Ayurvedic teacher, Dr. J, if you guys have heard him on the podcast Beauty Inside Out, would probably be frowning a little bit at me because he always says not to use curry powder, to make your own, use your own spices. Curry, there's different curry blends. This one is a mix of coriander and turmeric and fenugreek and mustard seed and paprika and cardamom and a bunch of different things. So Dr. J would say, for your body type, for your dosha, for the season, use the individual spices. But when I'm in a rush, sorry, Dr. J, I don't care all the time. I'm just gonna use a nice, delicious curry powder that's already pre-mixed, and it's totally okay to do. So I love this brand. It's Frontier Co-op. It's organic. I love the way that their spices are. They source fair trade. So if you guys are looking for some, that's a great brand. So I'm just gonna, very lightly season the cauliflower with some sea salt, and then I'm gonna add the freshly cracked black pepper. For something like this, when I'm baking, I do like to season before. If I need to adjust it, I'll add a little bit of salt afterwards, but it's something, I don't know, I like it when it's baking in there with the coconut oil and the salt and pepper and the spices. To me, that's how I like to do it versus afterwards. Then I'm just gonna sprinkle some curry powder. The amount is totally up to you. We could say maybe half a teaspoon, more if you like it spicy as I do. It's gonna add a beautiful color. After it roasts and it's gonna come out, it's gonna make the cauliflower look yellow-orange, which is really nice. And of course, all the benefits, the curry powder I mentioned, there's turmeric, there's cardamom, there's cumin. These are all spices which have digestive benefit. They warm the body. They will help to cleanse your blood. They have anti-inflammatory properties, again, digestion enhancing properties. So I really love, I love to use all these different spices. So my oven feels like it's cranking up in there. If you love when the oven starts to make that noise like he's alive and he's getting ready to wake up and do his job. Okay, so again, I know I just have one lonely cauliflower steak because I ate the other one last night, but imagine that this had 3 friends and there was 4 of them. This is something you could serve for your family, for a dinner party, just an evening at home. And so we're gonna serve it with a salad, and the way we can make this more hearty is by adding one of my favorite seeds to it, which will add some denseness to the meal, which is pine nuts. And so I'm not going to roast the pine nuts. I'm going to sprinkle them on afterwards on top, and that will add protein and there's protein in everything, but more dense protein and groundedness to the meal. It will make it feel more complete. So what I'm going to do now, pretend that my oven is totally warmed up. Pretend that we fast forward. I'm just going to take this and the baking dish, and I'm going to stick it in the oven. Oh, and I'm going to time 25 minutes. I'm pretending here. I'm gonna remember my head. 25 minutes, and if you remember, ideally you would flip it halfway through. Now everybody's oven is different, and sometimes it could be 30 minutes, sometimes it could be 20. Know your oven and know how soft you like things. If I'm gonna roast a cauliflower, I want it to be a little bit more tender. So again, we put it at 425, and I'm gonna roast it for 25 minutes. But you can check and adjust it for yourself. Yay! Lala says she has one in the fridge that will work for this. That's incredible. So what I'm going to start doing while this is roasting, I'm going to start preparing the salad. So we're going to plate it as like a bed of the salad, and then the cauliflower, and then we're going to sprinkle the pine nuts on top. So here I really love to pair, because this has oil in it and it's fatty and the cauliflower is sticky, I like to pair it with a bitter herb. So I actually use arugula here. You can use wild arugula or regular arugula. I love the wild when you can find it. It's a really fun shape, but whatever, it's really optional. Also, I want to have something tangy, so instead of using, and really fresh, so instead of using just like a vinaigrette or even lemon, I thought it'd be fun to add a really fresh lime as the acid in our salad dressing for this. So I'm just gonna cut it open. So this is how I really like to cook, you guys, where I don't measure things. I just have the ingredients and you can just play it and adjust. So I just cut the lime in half and I'm just gonna squeeze it right in here. Organic limes tend to have way less, sometimes depending on the variety, way less seeds than lemons. So I'm just gonna toss the whole thing right in here, squeeze it in. And then I've got my salt and pepper right here, super easy. I'm just gonna add a little toss of that. And yeah, it's not too hot over here. A little bit of the black pepper. And now we already have the coconut oil in the steak. So I'm just gonna add a tiny, tiny, tiny touch of this Udo's oil, which can you guys see that, or is it glare? My weird kitchen lighting weird. This is an oil that I really love. It's called Udo's Choice, and I keep it in my fridge. It's very delicate. It's never to be heated. It's a great source of omega-3 fats. This is the omega-3 fatty acid blend. It has flaxseed oil and some other oils mixed in, but it's a really great blend, and I only use it on my salads. I only use it raw. So this does never get sauteed or stir-fried or anything. It's just for salads. And so I've got the lime, the salt, and the pepper, and I'm literally just gonna add a little dollop. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that with my hands, which is also my favorite way to make salad. Great. So it's just really light, really, really fresh. Make this in 2 seconds. You could come home from work, prepare your steaks in like a minute or two, stick them in the oven, go change, put on your comfy clothes, relax, and then get the rest of your evening going. See, so I just washed my hands. I'm gonna start to plate everything. Oh, another thing I wanna mention, when you guys are using this oil, make sure that you close it immediately so it doesn't oxidize. We don't want any oxygen to create rancidity or to denature this oil anyway. And then I put it right back in the fridge. So it's delicate, and that's the way that these oils should be treated. Same thing with flax seeds. You wouldn't want to roast flax seeds. Sometimes we all like the taste of roasted seeds and nuts, but in general, I do say, raw, you're not denaturing the amino acids or the nutrients. Same thing with these pine nuts. That's why I'm going to keep them raw in this recipe, because we're already roasting the cauliflower. So it's a mix still of the rawness, the freshness, the enzymes, the vitamins that may be heat sensitive. We're keeping them all out. And then we're also getting that nice warmth from the cauliflower steak, which is important this time of year, especially when it's cold out and we want something hearty that feels rich and cooked and delicious. So let me grab a plate. So here I tend to have really enormous salads, so this is probably the portion I would have for myself, but you could also divide it into, depends how much greenery you like to eat. For a meal like this, I would probably say make yourself a nice big green salad that's going to add all that fiber. It's going to help the meal feel more substantial and filling and wonderful. So let's just pretend for a minute that the cauliflower has been in there for 25 minutes, because I just want to show you guys what it's going to look like. So fast forward, time warp, 25 minutes. And oh wow, my cauliflower steak is all done. Woo! Looks beautiful. The curry made it all yellow and amazing. So it's nice and tender. And if, what you can do is you can kind of just feel it. You want to make sure it's tender enough. You could always leave it in longer, of course. And then you want to carefully, now it's up to you. I like to put it this way because I think this stock, and I'm going to make a little space, I like to put it with the stock up. I'll show you guys in a second because I think the stock looks cool. But it's up to you. You could also put it stock down with the florets up. And then I'm going to take some pine nuts. And again, pine nuts are really rich in minerals, fantastic for your hair and your skin. Great source of protein. And I'm just going to sprinkle them on top of the whole thing. So this is ultra simple. If you want to make it, all my vegetables all over the place. I would add some color. You could chop up some red cabbage. Can you guys see this? It's hard to tip this. See what I mean by stock up? I think that looks really cool to serve it that way, and you could just sprinkle the cauliflower on top. Now, I mean the pine nuts on top. Now remember, when this is actually fully cooked, it's gonna be a much more brilliant yellow color, so it's gonna look even prettier. And you could put tomatoes around it if you want, or red cabbage just to color it up to make it look like a really pretty dish of food. And of course, the cauliflower itself will be more yellow. And if you want it to be even more yellow, you could sprinkle some additional curry on top of it. Voila! So there's your cauliflower steak, very easy. Remember, coconut oil, seasonings, preheat your oven to 425, cook it for about 25 minutes, more or less, depending on your oven, depending how much you like it. Plate a nice salad, have it, it will wilt on the bottom, it will taste really nice and fresh. I use a dressing of fresh lime juice and some omega-3 fatty Udo's oil dressing, a little bit of salt and pepper, pine nuts on top, and boom, you've got a really nice, easy entree that you can just make for yourself, friends, loved ones. So full in fiber and micronutrients, minerals, antioxidants, vitamins, everything that your body needs for really, and protein of course, a really nice, nourishing dinner. Any questions that you guys have? Yay! Well, I don't see any particular questions, but yeah, Malvis says I have love curry. You could make this. So check it out for to make in a bind. I'll be back here soon. Remember to subscribe because they come out at such random times. Otherwise, sending you guys lots of love. Remember, there's tons of recipes on KimberlySender.com, and I'll see you soon.